Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am curious to know what authorities uncovered in Bryan Kohberger's Google accounts. I said accounts, plural. It is believed that Bryan Kohberger had multiple Google accounts, it looks like, according to search warrants that authorities conducted on Bryan Kohberger's Google. Let's talk about it. I put out a tweet just earlier today about 2 separate search warrants conducted on Bryan Kohberger's Google. Check it out. So I tweeted this out on my Twitter account at JLR Investigates. So strange that authorities sought 2 separate search warrants on Bryan Kohberger's Google account. First search warrant sought in January 3rd, 2023. Second search warrant sought on February 24th, 2023. Both warrants sought Google records of Kohberger from 1/1/21 through 12/30/2022, the time he got arrested. First, on January 3rd, right after Bryan Kohberger got arrested, January 3rd, 2023, authorities did a search warrant on his Google. Then, about a month and a half later, February 24th, they did another 2 separate search warrants for Bryan Kohberger's Google accounts. It looks like multiple. Here's the first search warrant. And I want to show you something right here. Check it out. So this was the first search warrant on January 3rd, 2023 for Bryan Kohberger's Google account. And it said, Lawrence Mowry have given me proof upon oath this day showing probable cause establishing grounds for issuing a search warrant, and there is probable cause to believe that the property referred to and sought in or upon such premises consist of information related to the investigation into the crimes of homicide at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho. On the Google account, one account of Bryan Kohberger with any of the following identifiers: email address of, and it's white out, and or any Google accounts associated with the following telephone numbers. And it looks like there's 2 telephone numbers there. Or any Google accounts associated with the following international mobile equipment identifier. And they white that out. And then it lists there what they are seeking from Google, right? So this was a warrant January 3rd, 2023 for Google, for Bryan Kohberger's account. So that was the January 3rd search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's Google. Now I'm going to show you the February 24th search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's Google. Now this is the second search warrant for Bryan Kohberger's Google account. This time, the search warrant was conducted on February 24th, 2023. And this one looks like they're asking for more information about Kohberger's Google account or accounts, different from the original January 3rd search warrant. Lawrence Mowry have given me proof upon oath this day showing probable cause establishing grounds for issuing a search warrant, and there is probable cause to believe that the property referred to and sought in or said premise consist of information related to the investigation of the crimes of homicide at 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, on the Google account of Bryan Kohberger for all Gmail accounts linked by recovery email, cookie, Android ID, creation IP, or phone number associated with any of the following identifiers. And you can see there's multiple here, blanks here, identifiers. And then it also has the term IMEI. And then it lists the same stuff they're seeking from that January 3rd. But this time looks like they're expanding the search for more Google accounts and recovery Gmail accounts that possibly Bryan Kohberger had. So this search warrant is much different. This was done about a month and a half later. What do you think? It looks like they were expanding the search. This search warrant from the 24th of February looks a lot different than the January 3rd. It's talking about multiple identifiers and recovery accounts. Very, very interesting. It looks like they're trying to expand it out. And if you notice in both search warrants, They're trying to get his Google information going all the way back to January 1st, 2021. Kohberger got arrested December 30th, 2022. So we're talking a 2-year span of Google searches. What did Bryan Kohberger Google in that time frame? And do you think there's anything relevant to this Moscow, Idaho case that Kohberger could have Googled back in 2021, throughout 2021 into early 2022 before he even went out to Pullman? Or are they trying to pin him maybe on other types of searches about other unsolved crimes maybe, or trying to get a pattern of his behavior to see if he Googled certain keywords about, for instance, how to get away with a crime, how to go into someone's house with a knife, or how to victimize someone, or certain searches that they're trying to get from him, keywords, or maybe sites that he went to on Google that possibly, used and bought things, maybe like latex gloves, the knife sheath, the K-bar, any type of tactical gear or whatnot. It's very, very interesting. But I think the fact that they got 2 search warrants on Bryan Kohberger's Google accounts shows me this Google stuff they got on him is definitely going to be used against him if he goes to trial. And I'm not so sure he'll go to trial. I've made numerous videos about that. I just think overall, the compound of evidence that they have on Bryan Kohberger, I can't see how he thinks he's going to be able to get away with this. But we'll see. We'll see. But I do think Google will come into play. Now, with these Google searches, what that ultimately means is if he does go to trial, it's most likely someone from Google will come and testify. Or maybe the Maori, the individual that you saw in those warrants, works for Moscow PD, maybe he will testify about how Google searches are conducted or whatnot. It's going to be fascinating. And I wonder how many other Google accounts Bryan Kohberger used. And, is there damaging evidence in these Google accounts? Remains to be seen. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. What do you know about Google search warrants? What do you know about Google, evidence from Google being used against a criminal in order to convict? I know that there's a lot of controversial tactics when it comes to Google, like geofencing and things like that. That is being, a lot of courts are hearing that. Defendants have been convicted off geofencing, but I don't think geofencing is similar to Bryan Kohberger case, though maybe they did geofencing, we just don't know it yet. And geofencing means just seeing what accounts were around a certain area at a certain time, or what keywords were Googled at a certain time to try to pinpoint a suspect. Don't know if that applies to Bryan Kohberger, but we'll see. Remains to be seen. We'll talk soon. Justice for the victims and their families. Stay safe, everyone.